got my message? It was time to go, and where's my keys? Val, where's the van key? I don't know. What do you mean you don't? There's two of them. Where are they? Where's one of them? Oh, God. Now we're just tearing up the house. We're moving couches. We're looking under cushions and stuff like that, you know? And like, these things happen, you know? Made it.
So we've got a two-sheet. All the things.
Okay, great. Oh, you got a dynamic for me today, huh? Cool. Oh, anything's. Okay, great. And I can pick something else out of this for a prelude, and we're good to go. Decompress for a second. Yes, yes. The travel was fast, that's for sure. I was flying. Or maybe when you saw it, I think it was about 10:01 or 2 when I texted you. I'm like, I'll make it. Don't worry. Have no fear.
Let there be joy in our coming together this morning. Let there be truth heard in the words we speak and the songs we sing. Let there be help and healing for our disharmony and despair. Let there be silence for the voice within us and beyond us. Let there be joy in our coming together. Good morning, brave souls. Welcome to the UU Church of Amherst. I'm Reverend Michelle Buhite, the minister of this congregation, and my pronouns are she and her. I'm so glad to have you in the service, whether you're here in our building, live streaming, or perhaps watching later on YouTube. Together, we create a multi-generational, beloved worshiping community. Just a reminder, and of course now it's, as of tomorrow, a mandate, that while you're in the building, you need to be wearing masks unless you're up here preaching. Please take a moment to put your phones on worship mode, silencing them or perhaps even placing them on airplane mode so they don't interfere with the technology or disrupt the worship container that we are creating together.
Good morning. My name is Angela Warren, and I'm your Director of Faith Development. We begin our time together by lighting the chalice, the symbol of Unitarian Universalism. Our chalice lighting words this morning come from Gordon B. McKeeman. Deep calls unto deep. Joy calls unto joy. Light calls unto light. Let the kindling of this flame rekindle in us the inner light of love, of peace, of hope. And as one flame lights another, nor grows the less. We pledge ourselves to be the bearers of light wherever we are. It's been said that Unitarian Universalism is the religion that puts its faith in you, trusting each individual to engage in the spiritual journey and to reach your own conclusions about spiritual matters. We do that in beloved community as we support one another in faith and in friendship. In that spirit, this congregation has created a covenant, a sacred promise of how we will strive to be with one another. Please join me in speaking our covenant. Together, we promise to gather in compassionate community, to celebrate diversity of thought and unity of spirit, and to seek wholeness for ourselves, our children, and our world. And as we gather, we acknowledge that our church is built on occupied land that once belonged to the First Nations people of this region, the Haudenosaunee, and the people known as the Neutrals before them. May we be good stewards of the land and courageously cultivate community with all living things.
I remember sitting on the cold and creaky metal folding chairs in the basement of the old Wesleyan church, the piano sounding a bit like tuneless honky-tonk as we children sang at the top of our voices, I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart, where? Down in my heart. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart to stay. The source of that joy could be found in the tongue-twisting third verse. I have the wonderful blood of my blessed Redeemer way down in the depths of my heart, etc. Where? What? You know, none of us ever questioned the theology. It was just fun to say the words. We never thought about, at least we children didn't think about, what redemptive blood could mean. For us, God was in his heaven, we were washed in the blood of the Lamb, and we had the joy, 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 joy down in our hearts. As I grew older and more nuanced in my thinking, I found it more and more difficult to reconcile the agony and atrocity at the root of that supposed source of joy. I recoiled at the Exodus story with the elaborate song and joyful dancing associated with the divine drowning of the Egyptians. When I dove deeper into the Bible stories that I had not learned in Sunday school, that source of joy became more and more confusing. My search for truth and meaning became very serious. It was time to find new sources of joy. Today we are exploring what it means to be a people who are opening to joy. For a word that contains just 3 little letters, I think joy is too big for me to wrap my head around. I mentioned in my newsletter column that joy gives me a headache, an early warning system for a level of happy that is not sustainable. People throw the word around as if we should all have a sense for what it means and can easily point to its presence or lack thereof in our lives. We are in the season of joy. Joy to the world, angels' joyful strains, O thou joyful day, O come all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. I don't think I can manage the kind of joy that comes with trumpets and confetti. But maybe we can find a smaller joy, an ordinary joy that is more like the low hum of the clothes dryer running in a nearby room, the comforting presence that is simply part of the background of our everyday lives. I think I can manage that kind of joy that carries residual warmth even as I engage in the small tasks that underscore my life. Linda and Shanna Groat will share with us a reading about joy from J. Ruth Gendler's The Book of Qualities, where we're challenged to look at our emotions in new and inspiring ways. Do you want the stand?
I do, but I don't know if she should.
Okay. So it starts here and then it has the page turn.
Okay, sorry. Joy drinks pure water. She has sat with the dying and attended many births. She denies nothing. She is in love with life, all of it, the sun and the rain and the rainbow. She rides horses at Half Moon Bay under the October moon. She climbs mountains. She sings in the hills. She jumps from the hot spring to the cold spring without hesitation. Here, you can climb.
Although joy is spontaneous, she is immensely impatient. She does not need to rush. She knows that there are obstacles on every path and that every moment is a perfect moment. She is not concerned with success or failure or how to make things permanent.
At times, joy is elusive. She seems to disappear even as we approach her. I see her standing on a ridge, covered with oak trees, and suddenly the distance between us feels enormous. I am overwhelmed and wonder if the effort to reach her is worth it. Yet she waits for us. Her desire to walk with us is as great as our longing to accompany her.
Joy is over there in her incredible clothes. She has silver silk shimmering down to her toes. I was doing the best that I can, I suppose, but that little girl dancer eventually grows. She grows. She grows. You can't imagine all the times that I tried to uncover the source of the tears that you cried. Let's throw it away and just go for a ride. And you say okay, but you'd keep it inside. And I tried. I tried. I tried. I tried. We want you to be happy. Don't live inside the gloom. We want you to be happy. Come step outside your room. We want you to be happy, 'cause this is your song too. I never thought I could have it so good. You were the song that my soul understood. But time is a river that flows through the woods, and it led us to places we both understood would be gone before too long, would be gone before too long. When we were young, we thought life was a game, but then somebody leaves you and you're never the same. All of the places and people belong to the puzzle, but one of the pieces is gone, and it's you. It's you. It's you. Joy, it's you. We want you to be happy. Don't live inside the gloom. We want you to be happy. Come step outside your room. We want you to be happy, 'cause this is your song too. Inside together you'll see the change when the sun shines through. We want you to be happy. Don't live inside the gloom. We want you to be happy. Come step outside your room. We want you to be happy, 'cause this is your song too. 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 This is your song too.
Thank you, Adam. Go ahead, you know you want to. A short reading from Brene Brown's The Gifts of Imperfection. Twinkle lights are the perfect metaphor for joy. Joy is not a constant. It comes to us in moments, often ordinary moments. Sometimes we miss out on the bursts of joy because we're too busy chasing down extraordinary moments. Other times we're so afraid of the dark that we don't dare let ourselves enjoy the light. A joyful life is not a floodlight of joy. That would eventually become unbearable. I believe a joyful life is made up of joyful moments, gracefully strung together by trust, gratitude, inspiration, and faith.
It's my turn. I'm going to follow that. So welcome again this morning, and we do have all FD activity happening in the Emerson room, and we're supposed to go out after the Time for All Ages, which is a story called The Gardener, but I kind of want to stay in here. Anybody else? And just do it after. If anybody's opposed, you can just wander off, I suppose, and I'll follow you. But this story was a storybook that, okay, let me start again. Last week, Petra joined us from Fruition Seeds, and she asked a question about gifts. How is the way, something like that, how do you receive, what is the best gift you've ever received? What's the best gift you've ever given? And this was an unexpected gift from a customer of mine a long time ago. And to me, that's one of the best gifts. And I think joy comes to us that way too. And this story is about opening to joy. You got it? Dear Uncle Jim, Grandma told us after supper that you want me to come to the city and live with you until things get better. Did she tell you that Papa has been out of work for a long time and no one asks Mama to make dresses anymore? We all cried, even Papa. But then Mama made us laugh with her stories about your chasing her up trees when you were both little. Did you really do that? I'm small but strong, and I'll help you all I can. However, Grandma said to finish my schoolwork before doing anything else. Your niece, Lydia Grace Finch. September 3rd, 1935. Dear Uncle Jim, I'm mailing this from the train station. I forgot to tell you in the last letter 3 important things that I'm too shy to say to your face. Number 1, I know a lot about gardening, but nothing about baking. Number 2, I'm anxious to learn to bake, but is there any place to plant seeds? 3, I like to be called Lydia Grace, just like Grandma. Your niece, Lydia Grace Finch. September 4th, 1935, on the train. Dear Mama, I feel so pretty in your dress that you made over for me. I hope you don't miss it too much. Dear Papa, I haven't forgotten what you said about recognizing Uncle Jim. Just look for Mama's face with a big nose and mustache. I promise not to tell him. Does he have a sense of humor? Love to all, Lydia Grace. September 5th, 1935. Dear Mama, Papa, and Grandma, I am so excited. There's window boxes here. They look as if they've been waiting for me. So now we'll both wait for spring. And Grandma, the sun shines down on the corner where I'll live and work. Love to all, Lydia Grace. P.S. Uncle Jim doesn't smile. December 25th, 1935. Dear Mama, Papa, and Grandma, I adore the seed catalogs you sent for Christmas. And Grandma, thank you for all the bulbs. I hope you received my drawings. I wrote a long poem for Uncle Jim. He didn't smile, but I think he liked it. He read it aloud, then put it in his shirt pocket and patted it. Love to all, Lydia Grace. February 12th, 1936. Dearest Grandma, thank you again for those bulbs you sent at Christmas. You should see them now. I really like Ed and Emma Beach, Uncle Jim's friends who work here. When I first arrived, Emma told me she'd show me how to knead bread if I would teach her the Latin names of all the flowers I know. Now, just half a year later, I'm kneading bread, and she's speaking Latin. More good news. We have a store cat named Otis, who at this very moment is sleeping at the foot of my bed. Love to all, Lydia Grace. P.S. Uncle Jim isn't smiling yet, but I'm hoping for a smile soon. March 5th, 1936. Dear Mama, Papa, and Grandma, I've discovered a secret place. You can't imagine how wonderful it is. No one else knows about it but Otis. I have great plans. Thank you for all the letters. I'll try to write more, but I'm really busy planting your seeds in cracked teacups and bent cake pans. And Grandma, you should smell the good dirt I'm bringing home from the vacant lot down the street. Love to all, Lydia Grace. April 27th, 1936. Dearest Grandma, all the seeds and roots are sprouting. I can hear you saying April showers bring May flowers. Emma and I are sprucing up the bakery, and I'm playing a great trick on Uncle Jim. He sees me reading my mail, planting seeds in the window boxes, going to school, doing my homework, sweeping the floor, but he never sees me working in the secret place. Love to all, Lydia Grace. P.S. I'm planning on a big smile from Uncle Jim in the near future. May 27th, 1936. Dear Mama, Papa, and Grandma, you should have heard Emma laugh today when I opened your letter and dirt fell out onto the sidewalk. Thank you for all the baby plants. They survived the trip in the big envelope. More about Emma. She's helping me in the secret place. Hooray! Love to all, Lydia Grace. P.S. I saw Uncle Jim almost smile today. The store was full, well, almost full, of customers. June 27th, 1936. Dear Grandma, flowers are blooming all over the place. I'm also growing radishes, onions, and 3 kinds of lettuce in the window boxes. Some neighbors have even brought containers for me to fill with flowers, and a few customers even gave me plants from their gardens this spring. They don't call me Lydia Grace anymore. They call me the gardener. Love to all, Lydia Grace. P.S. I'm sure Uncle Jim will smile soon. I'm almost ready to show him the secret place. July 4th, 1936. Dear Mama, Papa, and Grandma, I'm bursting with happiness. The entire city seems so beautiful, especially this morning. The secret place is ready for Uncle Jim. At noon, the store will close for the holiday, and then we'll bring him up to the roof. I've tried to remember everything you have ever taught me about beauty. Love to all, Lydia Grace. I can already imagine Uncle Jim's smile. July 11th, 1936. Dear Mama, Papa, and Grandma, my heart is pounding so hard, I'm sure the customers can hear it downstairs. At lunch today, Uncle Jim put the closed sign on the door and told Ed and Emma and me to go upstairs and wait. He appeared with the most amazing cake I've ever seen, covered in flowers. I truly believe that cake equals 1,000 smiles. And then he took your letter out of his pocket with the news of Papa's job. I'm coming home. Love to all, and see you soon. Lydia Grace. P.S. Grandma, I've given all my plants to Emma, and I can't wait to help you in your garden again. We gardeners never retire.
Creating beauty, lightening another's burdens, weaving a tapestry of love and care, all of these bring joy to the world. These pathways to joy are like glitter. Have you ever worked with glitter? I've seen a Facebook post that goes something like, there are 4 children working on crafts. One of the children is using glitter. How many projects have glitter on them? Of course, the answer is all of them. Glitter simply cannot be contained, and it is persistent. You can wipe and vacuum, and you will still find glitter weeks later. So here's a little something for the etymologists among us. The etymology of the word enjoy is to give or make joy. In Old French, en joie is to give joy. This is a creative challenge to our usual understanding of joy as something we receive, not create. In the story, Lydia Grace created joy. She employed the glitter bomb of creating beauty, lightening another's burdens, and weaving a tapestry of love and care. Giving and making joy for others increased her own sense of joy and belonging. That's not just the stuff of storybooks. It's an abiding theological truth. The love and joy we give to others is returned to us tenfold. We just need to give ourselves to love.
Kind friends all gather round. There's something I would say, that what brings us together here has blessed us all today. Love has made a circle that holds us all inside, where strangers are as family and loneliness can't hide. You must give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. I've walked these mountains in the rain. I've learned to love the wind. I've been up before the sunrise to watch the day begin. I always knew I'd find you, though I never did know how. But like sunrise on a cloudy day, you stand before me now. You must give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love.
Let's pause for a time of quiet reflection, to listen for that still small voice, however you name that. We'll just have a time of quiet, and then I'll offer a prayer. Spirit of community, of life and love, in which we share and find strength and common purpose, we turn our minds and hearts toward one another, seeking to bring into our circle of concern all who need our love and support. Those who are ill, those who are in pain, either in body or in spirit, those who are lonely or grieving, those who have been wronged. Today we lift up Suzanne Christ. Her sister-in-law passed away this week, and it's been a trying time for that family. We also hold in our hearts the Clayton family, who are still reeling from the death of Anne. We think of all those getting ready to travel for holidays, whether welcoming people here or some of our folks might be traveling away, just holding all those folks in your hearts. And as always, lifting up Don and Sue Sherman as they continue to find strength in this congregation. Holding in your heart the names of those needing love and support, I invite you to come forward and place a stone or shell on the table labyrinth in honor of the joys, concerns, and sorrows that you carry today. We are part of a web of life that makes us one with all humanity, one with all the universe. We are grateful for the miracle of consciousness that we share, the consciousness that gives us the power to remember, to love, to care. Amen, Ashe, and blessed be. Witnessing the miracle. by Andrea Mason. In this time of waiting, sitting quietly as the skies darken and the days grow shorter, when all is outwardly tranquil, while readiness builds and grows within, we sit quietly, waiting, dreaming a dream and hoping for a miracle. And if the soldiers come to disturb the dream, breaking the tranquility, we will rise up against them, taking back our dreams, and the oil, only enough for one night, will burn for 8, and we will be witnesses to the mystery of a miracle. And if the authorities call us for counting, demanding our attendance, but there is no place for us to lie down and rest, we will find fresh straw and gentle animals to create a bedchamber, and we will be witnesses to the mystery of a miracle. And if the ones who believe that only they have the truth come to tell us that we may no longer celebrate the wisdom of the ancients, we will cast a circle so we can dance. The moon will rise, shining her face upon us, and we will be witnesses to the mystery of a miracle. So we will sit quietly as the skies darken, waiting, filled with anticipation, dreaming a dream, hoping for a miracle. And just before the skies gain light, when we are at our most tired, when despair begins to crowd out the hope and the dream, there will be light again. Then all the waiting and all the hoping and all the dreaming will give way to joy. There will be light again. Then all the waiting and the hoping and all the dreaming will give way to joy. What does it mean to give way to joy? I think it's similar to the idea of opening to joy. Joy is already present, perhaps just on the other side of a door or around the next bend in the path. Maybe it's just as easy as preparing for sleep by lying down and closing our eyes. Actually, I think sleep is a good analogy. We prepare ourselves and open ourselves to sleep. Sometimes sleep eludes us, but eventually the conditions will be right and we will tumble into slumber. I think joy works that way too. Being open to joy begins with creating the conditions where joy can appear. It begins not with buying a bunch of stuff, but by finding small ways to fill your own cup. Maybe that is quiet time, stepping away from the computer, checking on your friends, engaging your senses with candlelight, tea, and the scent of pine needles. Being creative, whether that means beautifully wrapped gifts, writing poetry, or trying new recipes, can add to our contentment and our sense of joy. Giving to others, creating joy, brings enjoyment and builds our own resilience. You see, we're still living in challenging times with so much uncertainty as we go into our second COVID-restricted holiday season. We need ways to tap into resilience, hope, and joy. We don't have to be good at joy. Heaven knows I'm not. I'm a little afraid of that big 3-letter word. I know how to enjoy time with my beloveds. I know how to reach out in kindness to a friend. I know how to appreciate beauty and to give myself to love. But I'm just an amateur when it comes to joy. I want to share a reading from Robert Fulghum. Perhaps you are most familiar with his book, Everything I Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten. Unitarian minister, and this is from his book of essays, What on Earth Have I Done? The winter of '03. I remember. The Rockettes came to town at Christmastide, a roadshow version of New York's Radio City Music Hall Spectacular, featuring the long-legged lovelies who dance in unison, kick high, and strut around to big band music. The hot ticket for Christmas. You just gotta go. Spectacular is the operative word. And even more extravaganza was available that winter. A big samurai movie, and a big sailing ship battle movie, and another big round of The Lord of the Rings, and the big college football games, and the big TV super special phantasmagorias. All spectacular, all big, big, big. But somehow, hyperstimulation was not what I wanted for Christmas. Some low-key joy would do. Amateur joy. I remembered a conversation I had with a Greek friend in a small village on the island of Crete. I asked why the Greeks minimalize the celebration of Christmas but go all out for Easter. He explained that December 25th was just a birthday. Everybody has a birthday. Easter, on the other hand, celebrates a resurrection from the dead. That's amazing. That's spectacular. That's big. Besides, by the end of December, the Cretans have survived the stress of the tourist season, the exhaustion of the olive and orange harvest, and the first storms of winter. Nobody is up for roasting lambs outdoors in the windy rain and dancing around in circles in the village square. A quiet church service, a walk home in the silent night, soup and bread, some old songs with the family around a fire, and bed. That's it. The work of amateurs. And that would explain why on a Saturday night in December, when I could have seen the Rockettes, or gone to the symphony, or watched explosions on a big screen, I was somewhere else. In a small Lutheran church in my neighborhood, listening to a choir of dedicated amateurs sing their hearts out. At the intermission, there were home-baked cookies provided by the ladies of the church, and I bought a raffle ticket on a handmade Christmas quilt. The proceeds would be given to the needy in the neighborhood. Then we returned to the sanctuary to hear a reading of Dylan Thomas's account of A Child's Christmas in Wales. Finally, the audience joined the choir in singing carols, ending with Silent Night, off-key but sincere. Unspectacular. No glitz, no glamour, no extravaganza, no big deal. Walking home in the rain, I realized this was not a Lutheran deal or even a Christian one. It was about the universal companionship of amateurs of any faith or culture, struggling, like me, to feel at home in the winter's dark and awed to be part of the mystery of it all. I wasn't excited when I went to bed, just contented with getting what I wanted most so early in the holiday season, the company of people like me who find in themselves in the middle of winter a capacity for joy, small and deep and ordinary, amateur joy. Thank you for joining us in worship today. I hope that you've been inspired and uplifted by sharing this time together. You can support the mission and work of this congregation by leaving your financial gift in one of the offering baskets at the back of the chapel. And also on the table at the back of the chapel, there's a little red box with envelopes if you'd like to participate in this month's shared giving with Buffalo United for Afghan evacuees. And there's a little poster there with directions on how to participate in that. Please join me as we extinguish our chalice with these familiar words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Adam's going to play through once, Travel Light, and then please join me in singing it. Travel light and travel easy till I see you once again. Travel light and travel easy, and remember I'm your friend. We do not have much time to gladden the hearts of those who travel this way with us, so be swift to love and make haste to be kind. Go in peace.